days straight of this, which is how many
Max is
months?
talking. Max is talking. The show's going.
Oh,
This is
geez.
episode 79. Ignite your purpose. Max, John, we are your hosts. Welcome to the show. And today we're going to talk about heavy energy. Now, this is a phrase that I had never heard before. But I was reliving a story from a couple of evenings ago, and Max said, "That's heavy energy." So I'll tell you the story, and then we'll kind of bounce in and out. So myself and Emma took some family members to a presentation a couple of evenings ago, and they're talking about people who've recovered their rheumatoid arthritis through natural methods. Two people, one lady who was quite uplifting. She'd been diagnosed with it in her 30s and very quickly had gotten onto a plant-based diet, removing lots of things, just removing things from her diet to working out what aggravates it and what doesn't. And then she'd gone on to create a website. She's written a book, and she's kind of super keen and uplifting about sharing the journey and the positive benefits that she has had
Nice.
through this. She couldn't take medicine because of the children and blah, 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 blah. The second person, it was an American girl who I thought was about 15, but actually turns out she was in her mid-20s, 25, 27. But she has been chronically riddled with rheumatoid arthritis from a child. And she's been through the whole lot. The medications, this and this and this and this, freaking dozens of surgeries, dozens of it, and it just goes on. And eventually it gets to actually, she discovered a plant-based diet. She found somebody on the internet. She watched a video. She binge watched till 2 in the morning, 4 in the morning. And she has recovered her health to an incredible level through a plant-based diet, whole food plant-based diet. Now my point is, some family members there, and one was getting quite teary, and we got home after listening to what should be, some incredible stories, but certainly I felt really low. I was like, well, okay, she's managed to cure it. She's been at the national yoga competitions, and she's done this, and she's speaking about it. But man, that whole story really kind of sucked out the energy. And Max said, "That's heavy energy, that is." And I was like, what a fuck? What was that? So Max, tell us what heavy energy is.
Holy joy. Joy. Heavy energy. How much time do we got, John? The simplified version. Once you start understanding energy, we understand since kindergarten, we've been taught vibration. There are people carrying stories from the past that they continue to hash up and relive. And when they speak that, even when you just told that story about the one lady, now I wasn't there, so I'm going off your vibe. It was it was a very uplifting story, and I was smiling. Now I'm being aware of watching myself in that screen. When you told the second part of that story, immediately my face was like, ugh, oh my God, look what she's done. That's terrible since birth.
Yeah.
Right? So her words, and you have to understand, words carry emotions. Emotions are based on our past. Her words, and you're repeating them, but they automatically took me to my past and my negative scenarios and poor woe me. And you can just feel the energy building on me, and it's on my shoulders, and I'm like, holy Jesus H. And that was from a 2-second conversation, right? So if you and I are around people constantly for minutes, seconds, hours, at work, in the family, in the home, at the gym, those energies, when we interact and we do not know how to protect ourselves, they're just put on our shoulders. They affect our energies. Go ahead.
Yeah, so it's interesting because have I almost forgotten what I was going to say? Carry on. Dom.
Just enough to. We're gonna get you a pill for that, John. But for example, if you were married, right, you're spending, or even work, you're spending some of the most amount of your days of your life in those areas, and those energies sooner or later sooner more than likely, and you won't even know it, are going to affect you, and you won't even know why. You'll just be walking around in a funk like, man, life does suck, or I'm just giving bullshit ideas, or man,
Yeah.
it is always cloudy, or oh my God, it's all, it's not, you know what I'm saying? And you won't even know why.
And this is really interesting because at the end of this presentation, and I think she's only recently kind of got to the real crux of being able to do lots of things. Is I'm saying, man, and every time she speaks about this, she is reliving it over and over and over and reinforcing those memories. And I wondered if she'd had any kind of NLP or tapping or any treatment to say it still doesn't take the importance away, but it kind of separates it. And then we were listening to Brian Rose from London Real a little earlier. He's just gone away to do a cleanse in South America somewhere, kind of pretty full on one. And he says he's been chatting to the guys, and they're saying, "Well, coming here and doing this cleanse is all this kind of mind bending
Ayahuasca.
Thank you." He said, "But you can go through all of this, and it will be liberating. But if you go back home, the same people, the same routines, the same behavior just reinforces that same behavior from yourself." So
That's where we get into, the studying of the mind, which is what I'm in. If you think of when your tire gets stuck in the mud, whether it's a bike tire or a vehicle tire, if we don't wedge something under it, right, what do? We spin that tire, and we make that rut deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And by, this is especially in Western society, we go to what are they called? Psychiatrists, therapists, right? And no disrespect. I'm not disrespecting, but all we do is we bring up the past, which reinforces that circuit, right? And it makes it's so much stronger, and it's one thing to understand the root of it, drop it, and try and move forward. Now that's super easier said than done.
Yeah.
Done. What's going on?
Sorry, I'm just looking for the knowledge over there, the bookshelf. I was looking
for the bookshelf.
Name of a book. Yeah, we went to an NLP course a couple of years ago, and the guy was saying, he said, "No disrespect, these guys are very bright, but they just take you back that over and over and over again." And he said to this girl, "Well, how often do you feel about? How often do you think about this particular problem?" I don't know. She says, "Oh, probably 5 minutes every hour." So it's a couple of hours a day. So that's 15 hours a week, which is 60 hours a month, which is, let's call it 1,000. You spend 1,000 hours a year thinking about something that has happened, you can't change. What else would you do with that time? And then he went through some sort of NLP techniques to kind of change the kind of change the record, really. So it's
yeah, and getting a little bit off of heavy energy, but
yeah, big stuff.
The past is done. The future hasn't happened. All we have is right now. Not when John and I started talking or when you started listening. It's just now. This is all we got. And that's also relates to energies, man. Like, if you cannot be in the present moment, you're actually not even experiencing true reality and or the bliss of being alive, which should be a good vibrational energy. And that goes back to your upbringing and your diet and, my God, what you watch and all that. But try and vibrate your energy at a higher level.
Yeah,
we'll attract better things.
Yeah, you were saying about there's a guy and when you go down the journey of this kind of awareness, we can all change our peer group so we hang around with more positive people. But the more advanced people, of whom I am not one yet, they'll see negative people walking up to them, and they'll say, "Turn around! I don't want to spend my time with you." Which and that's kind of like having changed your diet a certain way, and then at Christmas dinner taking your own food around the house. Which, when I heard it first, Max, I thought that's a bit extreme. We do that all the time now, so
it's and you have to protect yourself, people. Like, it is the simplest thing. If you have somebody who's always around you, first of all, you have to be aware that those energies exist. But when you pick up the phone with whomever it is and they vent on you, right? Instead of using heavy energy, I'll use the word vomit, spew, suck you into their tornado of life.
Negativity.
That's heavy energy, and they're dumping that on you, and they're taking yours from you. So be very aware of that. You have to protect your energy, especially in these times. We talked about 2 months ago, John, about what's going on in the universe and the energies and all that. It is that time, so protect yourself.
And yesterday we spoke about the shooting in Toronto. But that's one tragic story. But for every tragic story that's reported, there are 1,000, 10,000 positive stories that we don't get to hear about. It's about tuning your mind into certain frequencies.
Amen. Very well said. Frequency, good word.
Yeah. Okay, we've rambled for quite some time again. We thank you. We appreciate you. We do absolutely love what we're doing here, hosting this show, this podcast, this blog, whatever you want to call it, this particular medium for sharing some of our stories to hopefully inspire or to encourage some of you out there to appreciate that life can be different. You don't have to make all of the same mistakes that Max and I have made. You can make your own mistakes, but we just share it.
Love you guys. John, thank you as always. I know you're hosting a dinner, so enjoy. Our day's just starting over here in Canada, so we'll talk soon.
Okay, my friend. Take care. See you soon. Bye-bye. Bye.